Day 1. What is numerology and why is it so powerful? Welcome, dear friends, and welcome to this course. We're going to explore numerology, frequency, and how we can use numerology to truly support ourselves in thriving and succeeding in life. Today is a foundational day. There's nothing you need to memorize and there's nothing you need to get right. Today is simply about understanding what numerology is, where it comes from, and why it's such a powerful and reliable tool. Above all, today I want you to begin to understand how numbers allow us to read energy. Because energy doesn't lie and numbers don't lie. What is numerology? Numerology is the study of numbers as energetic frequencies. Every number carries a vibration, a tone, and a specific quality of energy. Because everything in our universe is energy and frequency, numbers become one of the most direct ways we can understand ourselves and the world around us. Think about it this way. Everything is numbers. Time is numbers, money is numbers, music is numbers, even your birth date is a numerical code. Numerology teaches us that when you were born, you came in with a specific energetic imprint. That imprint influences your personality, your challenges, strengths, and the lessons your soul is here to explore. This is not about labeling yourself. This is about recognition. When you understand your numbers, things begin to make sense. Patterns, relationships, cycles, and even struggles. When you begin to look more closely at the world, you'll start noticing that numbers don't just exist on paper. They exist everywhere. Nature, science, and life itself. For example, the Fibonacci sequence. It's a numerical pattern that appears repeatedly in the natural world. You can see it in the way the flowers bloom, in the spiral of a seashell, in hurricanes, in galaxies, and even in the structure of the human body. This sequence follows a simple pattern, yet it creates harmony, balance, and growth. Another example is pi. Pi appears in physics, engineering, astronomy, and architecture. It's an infinite number, never repeating, never ending. And yet, it shows up consistently wherever there is a circular motion or form. These aren't spiritual theories. These are mathematical realities. This shows us that numbers are not random. They are part of the underlying structure of existence. When you start paying attention to patterns and cycles, you may also notice how numbers show up in collective experiences and moments in time. Events like 9/11, for example, cause many people to begin questioning timing, repetition, and symbolic numerical patterns within history. The point here is not to draw conclusions or create fear, but to recognize that numbers mark cycles. They represent beginnings, endings, and turning points. And once you begin noticing numbers, you realize something important. Patterns exist whether we acknowledge them or not. Numerology simply gives us a framework to observe those patterns more consciously. But that does require discernment and personal exploration. Numerology is not something you rush, it's something you build a relationship with. When you take the time to study your own numbers, track cycles, and reflect on experiences, you begin to see how energy moves through your life. And this is where numerology becomes incredibly practical. You can use numbers to support success, you can use them to understand timing, and you can use them to work with opportunities instead of forcing them. Many talk about luck, but luck is often alignment. It's being in the right energy at the right time. Numerology helps you understand when to initiate, when to build, when to reflect, and when to release. Instead of pushing constantly, You learn how to move in rhythm with your life. This doesn't mean that you avoid challenges. It means you meet them prepared. Over time, people who work consciously with numbers often notice that things flow more easily. Decisions feel clearer. Opportunities feel more aligned, and setbacks make more sense within a larger cycle. That's not magic, that's awareness. And awareness is one of the most powerful tools you can have. The history of numerology. Numerology is ancient. It didn't begin as a trend or a spiritual fad. Some of the earliest roots of numerology can be traced back to ancient civilizations such as ancient Egypt, Babylon, China, and of course, Greece. One of the most well-known figures associated with numerology is Pythagoras, the Greek philosopher and mathematician. Pythagoras believed that numbers were not just quantities, they were the language of the universe. He taught that everything could be explained through numbers, vibration, and harmony. In ancient times, numbers were considered sacred. They were used to understand nature, the cosmos, music, architecture, and human behavior. In fact, numerology was often studied alongside astronomy, geometry, and sound. What's important is to understand that numerology was never meant to replace intuition or free will. It's simply meant to support awareness. Why is numerology so powerful? One of the reasons why numerology is so powerful is because numbers are factual. Listen, astrology is beautiful, tarot is powerful, energy work is transformative, but numbers are solid. They don't change based on mood, interpretation, or belief. Your birth date is your birth date. And the numbers derived from it always reduce the same way. This is why numerology is such a strong tool for understanding energy. When you look at someone's numerology, you're not guessing their energy, you're reading it. Numbers reveal core personality traits, how someone processes challenges, what motivates them, how they can experience relationships, and what lessons they return to again and again. This is why numerology is often used in psychology, business, relationships, and spiritual development. It gives language to the things people often feel but can't explain. How numerology can help your personality. Numerology can help you understand yourself and your life more clearly. It allows you to recognize how your energy naturally operates, how you think, how you respond to challenges, and how you move through the world. Instead of working against yourself, numerology helps you work with your natural tendencies. It highlights your strengths and shows you where effort is best applied and reveal patterns that have shaped your experiences over time. Numerology also helps you understand timing and life cycles. You begin to see why certain periods are better than others and why certain periods are better for action while others are better for planning, reflecting, or adjustment. This isn't about judgment or self-criticism, it's about information. When you have accurate information about yourself, you simply make better decisions. Numerology brings clarity where there has been uncertainty, and that clarity creates confidence. Not because anything has changed about you, but because you understand yourself better. And when you understand yourself, navigating life becomes more efficient, intentional, and aligned. So, thank you so much for joining me today. I'm really glad you took the time to explore the foundations of numerology and start noticing the patterns and energies around you. In the next lesson, we'll dive into calculating your life path number, and everything you need to know begins working directly with your own numerology. I cannot wait to guide you through that, and I'll see you in the next lesson.